Hello, 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 everybody. I am Joe Man, one of the lead developers here at Ranked, and today is our third place match. We've got another match later today for that first place between Pixel and TGT, but today we've got our BLG versus VV match, and I am joined here by Eliza.
Hi.
And Johnny.
Hello.
Awesome. Again, like I said, we've got our third place match today. Teams have already faced off quite a bit. Both these teams making it all the way through our Swiss bracket, beating quite a few teams each, and then facing off in our quarterfinals and semifinal, and made it all the way to third place here.
Yeah, all right. So, as you can see, we have VV, who went up against HOS the first week, and they won. And then last week, they went head to head with Pixel and were beat out and got sent to the third place match against BLG. Yeah. And then on the other side of the bracket, we have BLG, who went out against JA, and then they went up against TDT. TDT is our finalist team. That was actually a rematch, but BLG lost. They beat out TGT last season, but they lost their rematch this season, and they got sent to third place. So this is a really difficult third place match, I think. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any predictions?
Yeah, like BLG was our highest seeded team, right? They went
Yeah.
4-0 in Swiss. I don't know, they have been incredibly strong for this season. And so being beat out by TGT kind of threw some things off in this bracket. So I'm excited to see how BLG does. VV has kind of did the opposite. They were sixth in the bracket, upended HOS. Unfortunately lost to Pixel, but the fact that they, made it all the way to the third place match, pretty impressive. Kind of the underdogs here, but still a very strong team.
Yeah, since BLG was actually the winner of our last season, this looks to be a very tough match for VV. But I must say that after, being beaten out by TGT last week, I believe that match was it a 4-7? Maybe we've all overestimated BLG, and VV could have a really good chance here. I think that we can move on to the rules now and just talk about the structure. Yeah.
Introduce us real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, quick overview of the rules for this format. Game is kind of split into two sides. Each team gets to play as team one, and each team gets to play as team two. Makes it more fair. But teams each get to draft 3 bosses per half, so that's 6 bosses per half, 12 total. They cannot pick the same boss as they did in first half, so we get 12 unique bosses. And then if it's overtime, you get one more boss for Drake if teams end up in a tie at the end of the game. After those boss picks, each side gets to ban a few characters, pick some characters. At the end, each team will have 6 characters because each team is going to have 3 players playing, each of them allotted to 2 characters they can choose between. They then speedrun as a team, each to win as many bosses as possible, and first team to 7 boss wins the game. In each world, there's going to be 1 ref player, that's going to be your 4th player, but yeah, again, that's 3 people in the world facing against that boss.
All right, I think we can then move into introducing the teams. Johnny, go ahead and tell us about VV.
Yeah, VV is the lower seeded team for this match, Visionary Vanguard. They're composed of their 4 members, RDX, Luffy, Ayaya, and Mango. All of these members have very cursed time zones. I've already said this in their previous match, but that makes it very hard for them to actually schedule any practice sessions. So once again, it's insane that they actually made it to the third place match in this season of Genshin Ranked. That really shows how their leader, RDX, gets a lot of experience from just playing casual matches. He seems to be always there to play casuals in Genshin Ranked, so his experience really says a lot about his team and carried them through all of these matches in Swiss. Talking about him, he also has his signature Nuvalet with an above 50% win rate. He also has been playing Genshin Ranked since the beginning of the mode. He has been playing Genshin since the 3.2 version, and he has some previous experience with Abyss PvP and some BRT tournaments. Talking now about their second player, Luffy, he has his signature Chaska and has been playing Genshin Ranked for over a year now. He has been playing Genshin since release and does not have any previous experience with tryharding Genshin modes. He does have his principal quote though, born to play HSR PvP and forced to play Genshin PvP by RDX. So once again, their captain just unifying their entire team here. As a third member, we do have Ayaya with her signature character, Ayaka, with the 100% win rate this season. Has been playing Genshin for 4 years and a half, and has been playing Genshin ranked since the beginning of the mode. We also have the fourth member, Mango, with the signature Mualani, has been playing ranked since the beginning of Season 4, and has played Genshin since almost release as well. He also has his quote that he loves Akasha, so he loves checking his builds, and he has some previous experience with Abyss PvP and some low-cost speedrunning in version 4.x. We can also see their Swiss records on the right. We can see that they had a draw against Ruby, but overall they had very actually competitive wins. So a 5-2 against 15C. We had a 2-5 against Uwu and a 4-3 going to RTs against GMT1. I think that's enough about VV, so I think we can move on to talking about BLG now. Eliza, do you want to take the spotlight?
Of course. All right. So BLG, or the Balatro Gamblers, is a team that actually features two of the creators of Ranked, Cuddles and Rion. Cuddles' signature unit is Bennett. He's like a very dedicated support player, and he does a lot of support optimization for Bennett specifically. Rion's signature unit is Clorin. She has a Clorin that is an absolute beast. She's very good at playing her, also known for Arlecchino gameplay, also known for playing Chaska. Then we have Swazi, who's known for his Yelon. I know he also dabbles a bit in Malika and Kinich. And Swazi is their Australian teammate who has to wake up every morning at 6 a.m. for practice. And it's worth mentioning that Swazi's team in Season 2 actually made it all the way to finals and got second place. And then we have Lin, who's known for his Linny. Great performance last week on Malika. And all of the people in this team have experience with Abyss PvP, with other types of competitions. They're a very experienced team when it comes to competitive Genshin, of course. And BLG was actually the winner of our last season, Season 3, but they got beat out last week, as you can see, 4-7 against TGT. If you look at their Swiss records, they 5-2'd and 6-1'd a lot of teams. A lot of their matches were not even close to going to retry, won by a pretty large margin. Same with their match against JA and their match against SOL, that's a 7-0. So they are a very scary team, definitely tends to steamroll their opponents, but as we've seen last week, they're not invincible. So I think we can move on to going into the coin flip now.
Yeah, as the higher seed. Well, actually, before we do that, I do want to mention real quick that unfortunately both sides have some scuff in their scheduling for this match. It seems like VV RDX will be able to draft for them, but will not be able to play, so they're only going to have Ayaya and Mango playing, and they are going to have to sub in a third player who is going to be Popsicle. Popsicle was one of the strongest players in a few previous seasons. Unfortunately, he couldn't play this season due to some scheduling conflicts, but a very strong player. They'll still be using the same 4 accounts that VV uses, but Popsicle will be subbing in to play for them. And a similar story on BLG's side. I believe it'll be Lin and Rion that are able to play, and I think Swazi might be able to draft, but might be heading out, and Jejun Lai will be able to sub in for BLG.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of scuff on each side with people playing with people they're not used to playing with, maybe people they haven't practiced with, and VV's sub Popsicle is very qualified. He's won this competition with his team twice. So I really do wonder how this is going to happen, because each team is going to be maybe a little bit disorganized. I don't know if they've had much time to practice with their subs. You never know how things could go. All right, it's time to move on to the coin flip then. BLG as our highest seed, yeah?
No, you had it perfect. Yeah, BLG as our highest seed does get to pick the side of the coin. And so it looks like they are going to decide heads, and our coin flip ends up in tails. That means that VV does get to pick which team they're going to start as.
All right.
And
And
it
VV
looks like
picks team 1.
All right, looks like they're starting as team 1. So we'll head over to that draft, and we'll start that up in just a moment.
Yeah, all right. What kinds of bosses are you guys expecting from each team?
I don't know, honestly.
I mean, most of what we've seen in game ones has just been teams drafting a lot of damage checks, so I'm definitely interested to
Yeah.
see if they're gonna keep that up, or if they're gonna try to go for more weird bosses right off the bat here.
Yeah. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about for VV is just that BLG has some absolutely insane DPS capability that I'm not sure VV will be able to match from what I've seen in previous matches, but they go with EFG, which is both a DPS and a survival check. Maybe they're trying to see if they can kill BLG right off the bat here.
Yeah, Pep comes in.
Ape? Interesting. Kind of anti-Dendro, can kind of
Very good
anti-Arlay,
Nicolette
right? It
boss.
resets the bond, but a
Yeah.
really good new blood loss. Which is interesting because, as we talked about before, RDX is a very
He's
good
known for
Neuvillette
his
player, has a very
Nicolette.
good build.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they're picking this APEP, keeping that in mind. You know, we might be seeing a
Mhm.
Neuvillette ban BLG. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Neuvillette's not
Yeah.
a super common ban, but it's common enough that I can definitely see it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely am expecting perhaps a Copelia, Spirit Speaker, Automaton, or Geovishap from BLG. They tend to pick those like difficult, sort of more cancery boss picks, and I know that VV tends to pick like really safe bosses, so EFG is really a standout pick for them. I do really wonder if we're gonna get a scenario where the team sort of switch roles here with the Pep being a safer boss, and VV ends up picking the more aggressive things while BLG ends up picking safer bosses as team 2.
Yeah, it looked like that EFG pick was actually just a random pick. It looks like VV didn't
Oh,
realize that the draft started the website. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I
the
think
message
the
just first
website
now.
seems rigged to them, but there's no clip to check.
So
that's unfortunate.
So we're gonna try to we'll let refs figure out
What
what
to
we're gonna
do
do
there?
here. I think it might be continue draft. We might reset draft in a second here. We'll let them
Yeah.
figure that out. But yeah, again, I think BLG, that is their APEP pick. So it is interesting. Again, that's good for one of their team comps that they used quite a bit last season, which was
Maui.
that
Yeah.
Florend Neuvillette Kazuha Taser.
Yeah. Taser.
Taser's
Yeah.
still strong this season. There's a few other options that have shown up because of some new characters,
Mm-hmm.
but Taser's still a very strong option, especially with Faressa now on the board.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got more
Yeah.
options for that team, arguably a stronger version because of that buff with scrolls.
Yeah.
It'd
Absolutely.
be interesting if we got to see more Taser gameplay. I haven't really seen
Yeah.
much of that season.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
that's
resuming
true.
draft, by the way. So we're gonna see VV's second boss pick here, Mountain
VV
King
takes
coming
the
in.
Mountain King. That's another relatively safe boss. It looks like there's a lot of anti-Dendro in this draft, which I know that BLG has very strong Dendro teams. And BLG takes Enka Bishops. Now, last week, BLG played a Mawika Sitlali Kazuha team that absolutely steamrolled some DPS checks against TGT, even though they did lose. And one thing that they drafted in that lineup was this Enka Bishops pick. I believe that was BLG drafted that. So that is quite a good boss for that Mawika team. VV will have to be really careful here. I expect that Mach team might also be good on Mountain King, and Mawika can be quite good on a Pep. So this is a great lineup for that team. And BLG may have to adjust their bans accordingly.
And Suwani.
Suwani
Oh,
pick.
Swani pick
Yeah.
coming in.
An interesting, an anti-Hydro pick. So, I mean, maybe VV doesn't want the Hydro. Maybe they don't want the Neuvillette, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
they're looking to steal the Bennett, you know? Like we talked about before, BLG is known for their pride comps, especially with Ko'o's build on Bennett. So maybe they're looking to steal it, or maybe they're looking to bait
And
BLG into
Drake.
picking Pride, and then they get to take a stronger team. And Drake,
Alright.
okay, so
Yeah.
probably the most neutral boss in the game, the most DPS checky boss.
Notably, we've got a lot of Arlecchino bond resets here. We have 2 with a Pep and Enka Bishops. And VV bans out that Sitlali, preventing BLG from getting that Mawika team that would be so good on this lineup.
Yeah.
And BLG
That
bans
Sitlali, they do have
Farina.
that 2-1 Sitlali, which has proven to be quite niche. Not
Yeah.
very few teams have it, but it gives BLG quite a bit of an advantage because it can be quite strong having that C1.
I'm not sure if Sitlali was the best ban here, though, because VV, as you can see with their second ban, they actually don't have C2 Kazuha, but I think that BLG needs that C2 Kazuha to enable that Mawika team to even work. Maybe they're just trying to enable, to prevent BLG from having extra options for Suwani, but this is a really, they've left a lot of things open in this draft VV has.
Yeah, I mean, Nahida's kind of not the most optimal pick here,
She's
just
not
because of the
great here.
bosses. So I don't
Mhm.
think a ban is necessary on either side, and I don't think either side's going to end up picking that. It's a
And they
strong team
banned
comp, but going
Chaska.
fast, yeah.
Neuvillette is good
Yeah,
here. Yeah, I think
I
maybe
think
VV will
Mavuka.
first pick Neuvillette. Or Mauve, yeah, that's true.
I
If
think
you get Neuvillette Mauve here, it's over.
Yeah, I'd say
yeah,
they are
yeah.
just
You
more
let
banning like Nuvalet options here.
But
Like
I think
they,
one team has to take one or the other, yeah?
yeah, they're allowing the Nuvalet to go through for VV to maybe bait them into first picking Nuvalet and then just steal all of their options with the bans and their 2 first picks.
Yeah.
It is hard
I mean, yeah,
to
like pretty much
deny a Neuvillette Mauve.
all the pride options are pretty much open right now, and like,
That's
and there we
true.
go. BV does still pick that
They
Nuvolette.
still pick Neuvillette.
Unfortunately, a good boss lineup for Nuvolette besides Suwani, like 5
Yeah, it is good.
quite good bosses for Nuvolette. So
Yeah.
I can't blame them for picking that at all. But that completely leaves open pretty much every pride comp
It lives
for
open, yeah.
so they kind of
Everybody
get
comp.
picks at whatever they want. They can
Mhm.
take a Pav here, an Arlay here. They can get that Ganyu
They
immediately.
take Mauve. I see maybe they take Mauve Bennett. VV can still go with Neuvillette. The problem with VV's team here is that they got rid of Silali, Kazuha, and Farina, which means they have to play Shilonen with Neuvillette, or they don't have a lot of supports left. I see what BLG was doing there with that Chaska ban, because and BLG takes Shilonen. Will they have to pivot? Will VV have to pivot? What do they have left to play?
Yeah, I mean, Skirk? Could they try
I
to pivot
guess
into Skirk team?
perhaps with Escoffier, I mean, like Escoffier, Skirk, Neuvillette can be a pretty good team. They do ideally want to grab a Pyro for Mountain King, and I'm not sure if that Skirk team can break Suwani. I don't know how good it is on this boss lineup.
Yeah, I mean, technically
Arlecchino
Sucrose
here.
is still available. That's the best option
They take
that I see
Arlecchino,
for
but
an Arlay movie. Yeah.
what
Arlecchino
else
is
do
not
they
gonna
take?
have Bond on any of these bosses.
She does take care of Mountain King, though. She can still be pretty good on a pep. I think Arlecchino,
Yeah, that's true.
should be good there, and she is also good on Suwani into Drake.
She does have very good AoE clear for the pep phase.
Oh, and they pivot to Mualani.
And the Mualani pick. Okay.
Will they
Interesting.
try and play? My question is, are they pivoting? Will they try and play a Mualani team here with? It's not great, but it can work on some of these bosses with Arlecchino, Mualani, and like maybe Sucrose. Or are they just stealing the Mualani from BLG?
I feel like the bigger problem here is that most of the supports for Mualani are just gone now. The only option they really have to play here is the Sucrose, and if BLG knows about the technology, they can just honestly ban Sucrose.
Alright, this BLG team, I'm really interested to see how it performs. Now, they can also potentially get Bennett here, now that they have Mawika, Shilon, and Ganyu, but I haven't seen many impressive performances from this team, in casual at least. I think it tends to perform a lot better with Kazuha, a lot better with Kazuha Sitlali, a lot better even with Arlecchino instead of that Shilonen slot.
Oh, and the
BLG bans
Sucrose ban
Sucrose.
comes in.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that Mualani pick was a steal. I mean, BLG had Mavwika and Shilonen. Getting Mav, Shilonen, Mualani, getting that the arguably the strongest Mualani team. They'd be able to rush pretty much all these bosses except Suwani.
Yeah,
So
but
what's
at the same
do
time, BLG can't just ignore the Mualani, right? They have to take out the supports from her, because on this boss lineup, I think she can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, she can be good on EFG, Mountain King, Drake, and they banned Bennett. Alright, good bans from both sides, I think, both denying each other's options.
I'm surprised they took the Ganyu over the Bennett. I feel like they have a decent number of Bennett options, so I'm surprised they wanted to get that quickly. And Varessa is smart here. It prevents VV from going to that Varessa Hazer, and is also a pretty strong character in general. Just running
Also
Mav, Varessa plus like Chevy or something would be really strong, or even with that Shilonen that they already have.
Yeah, I do think it also prevents VV from pivoting to Varessa Chevrus here, which might have been one of their last viable options, but I do wonder what they'll pick, and they go Nahida to steal from Varessa.
No, I was looking at the fact that the Yalan and the Hu Tower are still on the board, and I was thinking that VV could maybe pivot to that, but
they can.
I see that they chose to go for the Nahida. Maybe a counter pick against
They
BLG?
might,
Not
but I've
that
seen
they
them play
need-
Nahida Clorend, I think, before. So I think maybe they'll just end up going for a Nahida team here, unless BLG completely denies.
Oh, and the Skirk.
Oh, and they take Skirk.
So BLG can just double deny here, honestly. They can just get the Escoffier. The Escoffier is actually valuable for them as well.
Yeah, I think perhaps VV should have maybe pivoted that Dendro team, but I'm not sure if they can run it. I feel like Neuvillette Nahida Clorend might have possibly been a functional option at least, and I think that Clorend as well can sometimes slot into unexpected teams, and BLG takes Escoffier. VV might be out of picks here, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, VV tried to go in like 5 different directions, and they
Clorend.
kind of
Pick
haven't
Clorend.
ended up with anything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the Clarence pick.
The only thing I can really
So,
think of them playing is maybe they go for like a Shenhe here or another Hydro Cryo unit, and then they could
yeah, maybe
technically play
Yelan,
like.
Triple Jess,
Yeah,
with
I
Skirt.
mean, they could play
Yelan is
Arlecchino,
still
Neuvillette,
open, yes.
Yelan as well. Or, I mean, even Arlecchino, Mualani, Nahida, which could technically function, because of the EM buff, but it won't be great, for sure. What'll they do here?
Yeah, it looks like their picks are all over the place. They do have 4
They
DPS
take
on.
Ayaka.
5
Oh, do they have a
DPS.
C2 Ayaka? Hold on.
Yeah, they do have a C4 Ayaka on Mango's
C4
account.
Ayaka. Alright, that's quite
Mhm.
interesting. Okay, so maybe they were able to save themselves with that C4 Ayaka here. Ayaka Neuvillette Skirk. I'm not sure. I haven't
I'm gonna be
seen.
honest, neither team has anything like particularly insane.
No.
I mean, Mav Shalonen with either Varessa or Ganyu, they're both pretty good comps, but I wouldn't call either of them premium. And I
No.
wouldn't
No
call
one.
anything to be premium either. So neither team has ended up with anything that I think either team is as practice. I don't think. I mean, there's a decent chance that they've practiced some Mav Varessa stuff, but none of these are conventional comps. So
Yeah, it looks like both teams sort of stole from each other and ended up getting, no one ended up getting a premium team, but I will say that I think that BLG's picks are definitely more competitive than VV's here, unless that Skirk team really impresses me. I just haven't seen Skirk teams without Farina or Escoffier really perform particularly well.
I mean,
I think
VV last game, the game they lost against Ickle, they got Escoffier and Farina, but unfortunately, because that C1 skirt, they weren't able to pull through. It didn't end up dealing as much damage as they would have hoped. So with a less premium team here, I'm not so sure they're going to be able to make that skirt work like they.
it is worth, yeah. It is worth noting, though, that they don't only have C1 Skirf. They have 2 C0s. I'm looking at the sheet right now. I don't know if they have SIG. I don't know if they're
Unfortunately,
great or
neither of
not,
those
but
have SIG. Yeah.
they don't have
So
SIG. All right.
Exactly. Yeah. So that C1 is their best.
They have to play the
option.
C1.
Yeah, they can play the C0, but I don't remember which weapons each of them has, but I do not believe either of them has signature weapon.
Also, I've seen some teams with just mono cryo played before, but those normally involved a C1 Ganyu at least for the cryo res shred. And it was on very select bosses with very low HP bars. On this boss lineup,
about, like,
though,
Gold
I don't see
Flame
their team
or-
working without any res shred.
That's true. That's true. I think we can.
I mean, they have
swap
defense
to
shred
prep
Ayaka,
soon.
right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
They
no
do.
red
It's
shred.
C4 Ayaka. All right. We've got prep here.
And some prep here.
Okay. And yeah, looking at the boss lineup here, the other thing worth noting is that there are some relatively aggressive bosses on this list. Like EFG can be a killer, Bishops can be a killer, Suwani, if you don't know its attack patterns particularly well, and VV did not get a very comfortable team, while BLG got Shalonen, who is a very comfortable unit. I mean, Neuvillette is arguably relatively comfortable, but whatever they're playing, the rest of the team will not be. They will have to play really, really well here, against these bosses, and I thought maybe their strat was trying to, take out BLG with that EFG pick, but since we know that it was not intended now, I'm not sure. I think maybe that might also screw them over a little bit, because it's a relatively aggressive first boss pick. If you die on that first boss, it's just, you can start to spiral.
Yeah, super dangerous. I mean, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna end up doing. It does look like BLG is figuring out their character allocation right now. They already threw something in. I don't think it's locked in, but right now it looks like they're gonna have that Ganyu Mav Shalonen as their main comp, and does not look like they'll be playing the Varessa Mav Shalonen variant.
That makes sense.
Playing with Clorend, but I think that Varessa comp is better. But I think Ganyu is their best option here.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Ganyu is a C0 with Chaska, so still pretty strong, but no res shred. But I mean, you're playing with Shalone though. You've got plenty of res shred in that team.
I wonder how much her lack of like the C1 energy refund will affect this team particularly. If they're trying to melt Malwika specifically, because she may not have ult up on every boss. But I definitely, I mean, quite honestly, I can see BLG steamrolling this draft again, unless that Skirk team really impresses me, or unless VV cook something else because, I mean, while Neuvillette is good on this lineup, VV didn't really get a team. And Malika is also good on this lineup. She's good on, you know, Mountain King, she's good on a Pep, she's good on Bishops. The team they have is going to be great on Suwani, and it's far more comfortable. So I think VV will have to play very well, or this might end up being a bit of a short match.
Yeah. I am curious what VV's plan is for Sewanee. I mean, I don't know if they can reliably win that. They do
Yeah, can
have
they
the
break it?
pure team, but with just freeze, you can't really break it without a claymore. So I think they'd have to play
I think they
like
play Arla.
some Arlecchino something. So I think that might honestly just be a throw, and they might just try to get energy for Drake here. But if they throw, since they're team 1, that means that BLG's team 2 is going to be able to see that and then also just get energy and then win Suwani still.
Yeah, I think Arlecchino
means-
Ayaka will be pretty good there, though. That's quite a good.
Yeah, Arlecchino Ayaka, what? Skirk?
I don't know, Skirk maybe, but it looks like they're swapping
I'm not
characters
sure.
around.
And it looks like both
they
double
putting-
Hydro on Mango, which means that they will have to play at least one Hydro character in Suwani. So again, yeah, I don't think they're really going to have much of a chance with Suwani, but I think that's kind of their plan. I don't see
Perhaps.
them winning it anyways, so just throwing Suwani is probably the smart play, even if it is going to be, it is going to give White an advantage to BLG. I think it is the smart play they have. And it looks like prep time is up for BLG.
They're ditching the Ayaka on Swanee, I assume, because they
I
will
noticed
have
that.
to take a Pyro to melt the Swanee. So they're leaving their Ayaka off of the boss, which is very weird as well.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be, I don't think they're gonna care much about Suwani. I think they're gonna run around to get full Arle Bond, get full Skirk Burst, or I mean, I don't even know if they're playing Arle. It might be, we'll have to see. But yeah, again, they do have that Mualani comp, Nahida, Arle, Mualani. I've seen it eat. I don't know how strong the Mualani is. If the Mualani has a good enough build,
Yeah, it can technically work. Yeah.
you got Nahida's signature weapon, and you know how to play Arlecchino, like the team can definitely work. So not completely a terrible idea.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit of a scuff off here, it looks like. As much as that Moika Ganyusha team is like fine. From what I've seen, of course, BLG might, you know, perform a lot better than what I've seen in previous casual games, etc. with that team. But
yeah, with how much practice they have. But yeah, you're right. That team does really want to have that Kaza. Getting that 200 EM is just huge for a team where reactions are 99 your damage, right?
Yeah, but I do think that the Milani team can definitely perform on a couple of these bosses. How well it will perform is, you know, questionable. There are also some like longer bosses in this list, like longer duration, like you know, Mountain King, for example, Mountain King fights tend to last a little bit longer than other fights. You've got a Pep, and I mean even Bishops if you don't clear it immediately, which makes me think, I mean, is Nahida even gonna have full ult uptime in that Mualani team for her EM buff? I'm not sure.
I mean, it looks like from when the ref was checking builds that Nahida is going to be on Prototype Amber, which is going to refund some of that energy, right? It gives that Mualani the healing that she needs, and it gives Nahida some more energy. So maybe they'll have enough ER to burst off cooldown. It might be, you know, a lot more of a supportive Nahida build, right? Nahida's not going to be doing much damage here, so it might just be a run as much EM and ER as you can, you know, build Nahida like Kaza.
Yeah, I can definitely see that working.
They might be able to get away with bursting off cooldown, but against Mountain King, we're gonna have that Logistin, which means that Mabuika is gonna have like as much uptime as she wants, but so is the Mualani, right? Just get plenty of shots. Running out of Obsidian will be annoying on that Mualani. Mabuika actually will probably also be on Obsidian. It'll probably be both of those team comps on Obsidian since Shalonen is on rolls.
Yeah, it looks like we're about to start here. VV is going in. I mean, looks like they're playing that Mualani team. Let's see how it performs here. This is a Prototype Amber Nahida.
That is interesting because one of their frontliners is going to be the Arlecchino, and the Arlecchino is going to be taking a lot of burning damage in the reactions.
Yeah,
so
that is a bit of an issue. However, she can't ult with the there's enough bond resets here that she can ult, so it shouldn't be too dangerous for her, I think, since she can ult on nearly every other boss. But here they go. All right.
Yeah. And I mean,
get a quick absorb.
So
we don't get a quick absorb from the Arlecchino here. So the second bite does not vape. They don't get a third bite on the Mualani. And the ult seems to not have crit.
Let's see.
Okay, now the damage is going in.
The
damage.
pace is not
Okay.
terrible as long as they
Yeah,
can
but
survive here.
but it's a C1 Mualani, so the first fight was double damage and it was still at 400k. So it's
Alright.
really not that much damage. The time comes around
Yeah.
to a 32.31 second. Definitely a bit scuffed by VV,
And
but
he just
still not a bad
doesn't
time
buff
altogether.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you can instantly clear that boss with Mualani, it is quite tricky to get her bites in with all the damage coming out, especially when Nahita's you're only healing.
I see.
So that's going to be quite scuffed with Mualani, but they can't sacrifice too many bosses here. They're already pretty much
No.
guaranteed to lose Suwani. So I think as long as BLG doesn't mess up too badly here, they should get this.
I think they
BFG
should
win.
just win. Alright. Looks like they're ready to go in. We've got Swazi on Malika. And here
Yeah,
they
it does
go.
look like
So
Swizzy,
do
I
go
think, will be able
first.
to play. I think he will be staying up a little bit late.
I think
but
this looks like it absolutely clears. Although it could be Lorelei on Swazi's account. That's possible. People haven't changed their names.
possible, but I mean, Swizzy's
16.
still in BC. So.
Oh, I see. No, I think this absolutely clears here.
Yes, they are very
23.
close. The
Oh,
Mav is going to get
edging
the
a
second
bit,
ult
but
in,
she
and
gets
they
a second
do
ult.
clear the boss on
26.
27 seconds.
That was
So
not too far off from one another,
yeah.
however, and as we've
They won
mentioned,
by 5 seconds.
yeah, this is a pretty, a pretty difficult boss for Milani on this specific team. The problem is just that we're going into the bosses that Moika is really good here. Like
Yeah,
a
the
Pep.
problem here... Okay, so the Mav is going to start a Pep with no ult here.
Yeah, but we do have
But they
Shalom.
do have the Shalonen, so that shouldn't
And
be a
apparently
problem
it's
for
the
them.
C1 Malika that they're playing, so she can ult a lot more freely. Which
Yeah,
will
I
give them a
mean,
bit more flexibility there.
in this team comp specifically, I think Mawika should be able to burst off cooldowns, whenever she
As
wants.
needed, yeah. And especially with the C1. She
Yeah,
can,
I mean,
completely grade.
Interestingly, it seems like Vivi is sticking with that Mualani comp, maybe. Oh, they might be swapping it up, actually. Because again, that Nuva is
Hey, the
really strong
Nuvalet.
here.
Nuvalet is a very
Nuvalet's
strong
sharp.
character on a Pep.
Yeah, I think
Definitely
they
the
have to let
right
Nuvalet
choice
here.
to switch these characters
Yeah.
here.
Nuva's arguably the strongest character for this boss. So if they do play, but again, they don't have. It seems like that Popsicle is staying on the Arlecchino and not switching to the Ayaka, so they're not playing a full skirt comp, which is not that bad. It does not sacrifice that much skirt damage because again, we do not have that fourth player anyways, so you're not getting the massive bonus, but you do not get the talent level because you don't have that third one. Again, not that big of a decrease in damage, but this team has no res shred. It's 3 DPS characters, and none of them are running scrolls, right? So comps like this do not often end out well on bosses, but Arlecchino and Nuvalet are both two of the strongest characters for this boss.
They're both good on this boss. Yeah,
We'll
I'm
see if
thinking
that's enough to carry them.
I expected they didn't go for the Ayaka here just because in the minions phase, I think maybe she would struggle with ult positioning because so much of her damage is just her ult. And if the enemies move or if they just die instantly, then you have the potential to completely waste an Ayaka ult. But this damage is not bad. They're cycling pretty quickly here with just Nuval and Arla.
But they kill it quickly enough, yeah. They unfortunately didn't quite phase it in that first part. Barely, but they phased it pretty quickly afterwards.
In 30 seconds.
Incredibly fast in this phase.
All
so,
yeah,
they do have two extremely strong characters on this phase, the Nuvalet and the Arlecchino. Honestly, the Skirk can just save ult here and just completely blast the boss in the second phase.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
There's no need for the Skirk to actually help the Nuvalet and the Arlecchino, seeing as they're two of the best characters in this turning phase for a Pep.
This is actually not a bad pace. It seems to be slowing down a little bit here.
It looks like Luffy, or I believe that's Mango. No, I'm sorry, that's RDX playing that Skirk. Does look like he held E there at the end, so he does have that ult up for the beginning of this fight here. Immediately using it.
Here they go. I think they get like a 130 clear time on this boss.
Damage is coming in strong.
play.
And they
Yeah,
kill it
128.
before the
Okay, 128
shield phase.
time on Pep.
That's gonna be
Right?
hard to beat. I mean,
That's not too
BLG is not
bad.
that bad of a team.
I
They have
gotta say
Mafika
the
and
skirt
Ganyu,
the skirt
arguably pretty
damage
good,
was not
but
as high as I expected though.
Mhm,
Definitely getting a hit by not having any of her best in slot supports.
mhm.
But okay, let's
And
see
here's
what
BLG.
BLG does here. BLG
Mhm.
does have the potential to one-shot each phase of the APAP, which could give them the
Yes.
time they need to phase the APAP. So we
And there
could
they
see
go
a
in.
very competitive run. They do get a lot of damage in. They are melting the Ganyu, and they do go into second phase very quickly here.
But how much
Yeah.
quicker is it really than BLG? I think it's around the same timing. It's a little bit quicker.
I think it's gonna come down to this phase, and I think
It's
for
this
this
phase.
phase, I think that VV might be playing faster. It depends on how. I mean,
Mhm.
it
Okay,
seems
This
these
Malwika team is
it's
kind of
waves are
wiping the floor
coming
with
in
these
very
minions.
fast for BLG though.
Yeah.
it seems like this was a BLG boss pick, and it seems like they know what they're doing. It seems like they practiced this boss quite a bit. They're getting their
Yeah.
timings correct, that Ganyu, and being able to just one-shot all these minions. They are clearing this incredibly fast. I do not think I've seen many teams clear this faster.
Yeah. Yeah, this team is quite good here.
Wow.
All right.
They now have
1 minute.
about 20 seconds, 25 seconds
Here
to
they
clear the
go.
second phase, and I think they're going to be able to do that easily.
Okay, the Ganyu ult coming
109.
in. They are
10.
dealing a lot of
1.
damage. It seems like the Mavult was more damage than the Skirk
Awesome
ult there
delay,
with
they have
max
10
stacks.
seconds,
They're
but it
slowing
doesn't look
down.
And
enough. Yeah,
119
Yeah.
coming in for
Around 10
BLG.
seconds
and it looks
faster.
like that practice paid off. Ganyu and Mawika are both very good in that second phase of Pep as well. And it looks like they
Yeah.
practiced enough that it paid off for them. They're up 2-0 right now against BV.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Malwika team, based on the performance we've seen, probably just takes it away here as well. Although Melanie can be good on this boss. But I think she's really going to suffer from the suboptimal supports.
Yeah, and usually you'd want a C0 Muani here, right? Getting that extra bite is a lot more
Mhm.
valuable to a C0 Muani player than it is to a C1 Muani team.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't think having Phlogiston is as big an advantage for VV here as it will
Yeah,
be.
that's absolutely an issue.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
without having like a good Mualani support on this team. They just have the Nahida there.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. I'm really, really curious. I mean, the EFG time was not too much slower than BLG's time, although we don't know how safe BLG was playing it. They might have just been taking it slow.
Yeah, VV did mess up quite a bit on EFG, and they still got
Mhm.
not terrible time on EFG, so they might have more damage than we think here.
Yeah, I am
Against
wondering
that
if they
basic
can get this to work if they play really optimally, but this pace does not look good. We're at 12 seconds, and they've not even taken down half of the boss's HP. 15. You could see this being maybe a 35-second clear time.
Oh, no
Maybe
crit
even
on the Mua.
40. I see. Arla was waiting for Bond to cook, so no pyro for burning, it seems.
Yeah, those vapes missed that second vape
Maybe
37k
before
on the
Milani.
3-1 bite.
35 time?
Yeah, a little right over
No, this is
35.
edging 40. 39, 42 time here. I think BLG
Okay.
absolutely beats this. I think there's no way they
Yeah.
don't. They have a
And
comfortable
there's
team.
another
They have
bond reset out
pyro.
here, so that
Yeah,
on there wasn't even super valuable, unfortunately.
yeah. This is unfortunately not a great Arlecchino list. Especially in, like, I feel like if the bosses were better for Arlecchino, then they sort of could have stacked Bond and carried, even with the suboptimal support. But this boss list does not allow them to do that, so you can't really get away with like a scuffed Arlecchino team here. But BLG's pace is not spectacular here either. I think they still clear it much faster than VV though once
The
they get
fruit
these
phase
balls.
coming in now. And
Yeah,
they are
they're gonna
able
get like
to
a 30
close
seconds.
out the boss at a bit
33.
edged, but a 33-second coming in from BLG. So it was definitely another close boss here.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Once
difference is
again,
not as much as it would first appear from the teams.
and once again, VV's team is performing just behind. And keep in mind, this is, I believe, a C1 Mua and an Arlecchino without signature as well. If I remember correctly. So the build is quite good though on that Arlecchino from VV. But yeah, we're heading into bishops. I expect there's no way that this isn't also a BLG win. I can see them just one-shotting the bishops here, basically, just taking them down. I saw how fast their Mawika team cleared this boss last week against TGT, and I am expecting good things, although this team is obviously far less, has a far lower ceiling than the team that they played last week with Silali Kazuha. I definitely think we can expect their Mawika gameplay to be top tier on this boss, since it seems they practice it quite a lot to be able to get off that performance.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, Inca Bishops, I do think is going to be a very fast clear. BLG is known for practicing quite a bit. Seems this season they might have had a little bit less time to practice with schedules, but it seems like they've still had plenty of time. That APEP clear was really impressive.
Yeah, I will say that BLG seems to be performing quite well, even considering that they have a sub here. And VV, it seems, I think that VV would have had a much better chance if it weren't for the way that the draft went. I think they probably didn't expect, BLG to take what they took as their second picks there, and they ended up kind of running out of options. But I really think that maybe getting rid of the Sitlali and the Kazuha was a mistake from VV, because you really only need to prevent one of them to deny BLG's Mawika team, and I don't think they needed to ban both. I think there was something that they could have banned that would have been better. I mean, they could have even banned Mawika instead, and as much as they don't have a C2 Kazuha, the thing is that they left themselves with no supports for their Nouvellette team. They first picked something that they were out of supports with. I mean, perhaps they should have just first picked Bennett here as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think Bennett was the last support open that was strong here, and they decided to still go with that Nouvellette. Right?
They didn't pivot either. I think maybe they
I think banning the Sitlali and Kazuha, they were potentially hoping that the Ganyu Mav Shilonen might perform a bit worse than it seems to be performing right now, right? Those Sitlali and Kazuha are both arguably better options for this type of team comp, but it seems like BLG is still able to perform really well.
Yeah, all right, here goes VV into Bishops. They're playing the Skirk team. Let's see what kind of clear time this gets. And here they go.
So we don't see the Arlecchino here. The Arlecchino just dropped. So they did stall for a bit too long and then were forced to start the boss.
I see. Yeah, that's definitely an issue. It looks like Skirk is definitely low here. I don't see them clearing this boss at any kind of good pace. I think this is absolutely a win for BLG.
Yeah, and now Skirk is forced to focus the boss that has Cryo Res.
Skirk died.
And
Skirk died. Down. She goes down. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Nouvellette doing 20Ks.
Nouvellette can be pretty strong on this boss.
And Nouvellette is in the middle
He's
of
low.
Damage, though. Okay.
He's very low. Arlecchino's low as well, but she has
dodge
ult.
the laser, though.
And she ults here.
Okay.
That's okay. She can't stack bond here. Let's see.
The Nouvellette is very low.
So they were forced started here.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Nouvellette might just be trying to get...
Arlecchino's very low.
Arlecchino might be healing up.
She doesn't have ult.
Yeah.
She does not have ult, though. Can she survive here?
Can they both
And they kill it.
But
They kill it.
1/18 time on.
Yes.
Next boss they have here is Tuani, which again we talked about. They're likely not going to play all the way through, and they're going to throw, so they get a chance to heal up Arle and get her more bond, and then also get Nouvellette some energy. But
yeah, I mean, I think maybe the only thing they can do is either go in and play out Suwani and hope that BLG's team doesn't perform as well as theirs, or they have to stack full bond and go into Drake and just hope they can win one boss on this first side, you know? Let's see how BLG's team does here. 446k.
BLG does get a good
from
rotation of the boss. The bosses do not
Yeah.
spread like VV's did. Because that was certainly an issue. Like, getting these two bosses to separate instantly kills any advantage they had with AoE.
Yeah.
And made them have to focus on the cryo one.
But now the
Unfortunately,
two
the bosses
separate.
do separate, but the Ganyu is able to shoot the Electro one. So
think there's
they
no way
are
to
able
avoid
to
it.
kill the cryo one, and then they get together,
And
and I
Mav
think the
pushes
Mav can
back
just
here.
ult here, and they can just
Actually-
close out the boss.
Yeah,
And
they
there
have.
she goes.
They might have been stalling a bit. Again, they're team 2, so
It was a
they
54-second
Mm-hmm.
Vishap run.
Yeah, they had plenty of time to make sure that they take less damage, but they do have Shallonen anyways. They have a healer.
Yeah. Yeah, worth noting though that Malika is a bit low here, and Shallonen does not have ult currently. So if she doesn't get ult up on the next boss or get her ult up in time, Mav will have to be careful. It can be pretty easy to get swiped by one of these Suwani attacks early on, and I think Mav could absolutely die here. That might be Vivi's only chance of taking more than maybe one boss on this side of the draft. Well, let's see what they're gonna play here. It seems like they're playing the Molani team, perhaps? Maybe just getting ults and healing?
Yeah, I'm thinking getting ults and healing, because I think
Mhm.
they're planning on playing this team on Drake, but they're going in here with no cryo, so I don't think they're planning on winning this boss at all, which I think is the smartest play they have here, but is fortunate for them if they can only come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Sure,
can also
but
see
I think
the...
they do kind of have to do this if they want to get that Drake win.
I can also
Yeah.
see, like, a lack of experience here maybe coming up, because Swanee normally is a boss who freeze. So, you not being able to freeze the Swanee could lead them to die, but
Yeah.
I trust that they know what they're doing, and they are gonna be able to heal and get out
Yeah.
very safely.
I think already.
Heals herself.
Okay. Yep, the
think
P-Ember
Hello.
on the Nahida is doing the
Oh,
work.
Arlecchino gets hit, but
The
she's still
Arlecchino
alive.
gets hit, but is alive, because she
She's
healed
just-
at the start of the boss, so...
She's just gonna have to
That
be
ended up
really
working out.
careful of that burning damage. She has Bond now, but if she gets hit by burning too much, she could just die
The boss
here.
is
She
going
ults
after
again.
her. She does heal. She
Okay.
ults. So she's a bit more safe now.
Alright, but I think
But
they're
the
gonna have to
bots-
stack
Easy
Bond.
win for BLG.
Okay.
BLG is going to be able to
Yeah,
get full everything for Drake. So Drake is going to be a real showdown. Both teams are going to have full burst, full health on all characters likely.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
BLG is going to be up 5 bosses at least.
Arlecchino here has around 75% Bond. It looks like she's got a dodge. Get out of that ring.
Okay, so this is the time that VV should just get out of the boss.
Mhm. Well, I'm
Yeah,
expecting her
I think
to
that last
still
bit
go
of
for more
parlay-
Bond.
Yep.
They-
Oh, it looks like they might have missed that E.
Oh yeah,
Might
the
have to take a little
Arlie
more
missed the
time.
boss.
Hmm.
So we're going to take a little bit more time here to get that last bit of Bond.
Yeah, we'll have to hope that she can survive
staying
for that
alive. Oh.
long.
And an
They're
ult coming in
using
from
burst.
Arla.
She ults and E's again. Seems like she's just trying to stack up her Bond quicker, perhaps, or get back to full HP. And she absorbs here.
Okay, so definitely a bit confused of why the Arla ulted there.
I think maybe just to dodge the attack, wanted to play it extra safe. which
Very
might-
possible. Alright, she's got to get out of this. But it seems like she's going for the orbs. She'll have to be careful, but
okay.
she gets them.
Gets Bond.
I'm not sure why the Nahida keeps marking the boss here. I feel like that would be much more risky for Arlecchino. Seems like maybe
Okay,
they're
now
teleporting
they
out and
are
they're done.
finally full bond and full energy,
There you
so
go.
they
Full
do get out
Bond,
of the
full
boss.
energy, full health.
Mhm.
They
So
are
with 2 minutes and
we're
12
ready
DNF on Swanee.
a very competitive Drake time.
So if
We now get
BLG does die...
flashbanged with BLG's side of the boss. I don't know why the boss is so wide here, but
Could be daytime instead of nighttime.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
So if BLG does die here, and loses their team, then I think that going for that 2 minutes from VV means they could still win the boss. But here
Okay,
comes
so
BLG, their full health.
They didn't die to
Rion
that
on
first
the
attack,
Mavwika does
so-
wait for the ult to iframe the attack. And yeah, they're already at half HP on the Swanee, so now it's gonna phase
They
into
absolutely
an
kill it in
instant
time.
freeze and a melt. So
Love seems to be out of uptime, or maybe she's...
really not a
Yeah.
big challenge on this boss, as the Mav can just save the ult for next boss if she wants
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, it looks like they may just be trying to
They're
build full
doing it.
fighting spirit here, actually.
Yep. Freezing,
Okay,
stunning again. Yeah. They have plenty of time, so
They
it's
do
fine.
close it
Yeah.
out in 48 seconds.
48 seconds.
Full health here for all the characters.
So we're now going into Drake with a 5-0 advantage for BLG.
Yeah.
Molani is a very tried and tested character on this boss, but not with the Nahida. So it's going to be interesting to see. The Arlecchino does have full bond, which could help them get a very competitive time on this boss.
Yeah, this is the one boss where I think that BLG could get themselves back in the game. Not BLG, VV could get themselves back in the game against VV. Because I have seen this Nahida team get times that I think should beat BLG's Mawika team, but I'm not sure if VV can pull it off.
Yeah. Again, that full bond Arle is very dangerous, but will it be enough here? We'll see.
Good question. We'll see. I think that I'm expecting maybe a 25, 26 second clear time here from VV if they play well, but I'm not sure how this team performs with C1 Moa.
Yeah. I'm mostly curious what the optimal build for Nahida is here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she'd rather run like
Wood or
a supportive artifact set or deep wood or like a
I
damaging
mean, the
set.
problem is what supportive that would be good here. Noblesse would only buff Arle, so who knows?
True.
Looks
There's a
like
possibility they
VV
could use
is-
scrolls and do like some sort of weird scroll setup with
I guess,
scrolls
yeah.
and Nahida. Yeah.
Some scrolls Nahida set
Or
up.
instructor. Yeah.
So they are stalling again, it seems.
Yeah. Ooh, seems like they might
Which
get false
is
started
not
again.
what you want to do on your last boss on a 5-0 deficit.
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, since neither team has the TP for Drake, I believe not get extra time, but it looks like they just took a little bit of extra time. TP might have some slower load times for some of these, higher paying.
Oh, Layla jump scare a
Oh,
little
does
bit on the
one team
stream.
have a TP waypoint? Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, so it looks like VV will get some extra time here since CLG has a teleport waypoint.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, usually you'd want both refs to either have it or not, but that's
All right.
we'll try to get
There
that
they
set.
go.
Okay.
Looks like they're going in right now.
Yeah. Arlecchino starts attacking. They got burning on the
Okay,
enemy.
the Molani starts a little bit late. 440k on the C1 buy, 239. So that is not a lot of damage for Molani here. Okay.
Oh, but this pace isn't bad. It seems like
I think it's gonna
Molani
yeah.
was attempting to end one at the start of the boss and get a get some kind of setup there.
But it doesn't seem like they needed it. They 3+1. That's a 2461.
Yeah.
BLG is gonna have to
I
clear
think-
with one Mavwika burst, or at the very least kill it with that second Mavwika burst, which
Yeah.
is quite doable. But they're gonna have
But
to
can
play
they
well.
do it? Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they can actually beat that time here. This may be VV's ticket back into the game. Let's see.
Everything's
446k ult.
Rolls.
There they go. They got the boss at half HP already. I think they kill it. I think they kill it unless the damage fall off is too high, but they've got that C1 Mav, and let's see, 22.99. Yeah, they win this boss. That's 6 for BLG. They only need 1 more to win.
Also, it does look like they are using.
Yeah.
Oh, it's C0. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 0-0 Mav, because we've seen
Okay.
countless times the Wolf's Gravestone on the Mav week.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, they've got a few switch ups on the accounts. Looks like they're using OO's Shalonen and Lynn's Mawika.
Alright, makes
But
sense.
that is going to be a 6-0 for
That
BLG.
is a 6-0.
VV is going to have to win every boss to put us into overtime.
Yeah, I don't think that they can do it, but I'm excited to see what they cook in the second half, quite honestly. I mean, they're going to have to draft really well. And I really think that where this first match went wrong was the draft because, you know, VV sort of, they didn't end up getting a competitive team at all on this boss list. I think that first picking Nouvelette after basically all of the bans were just Nouvelette supports was a relatively major mistake that they made. And so if they draft better, then I think that perhaps they could pick it back up. But I don't know. It'll be so difficult for them to win that many bosses. I think against BLG. I think BLG is really gonna have to perform very poorly on the second half if VV can win here.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen upsets similar to this. Unfortunately, I was the one on the losing end of this upset last season.
Yeah.
The final match, we were up 5-1, and BLG ended up coming back in the second half. So it's not impossible for VDV to come back here, but they are going to have to play incredibly well.
Yeah.
They'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing it. Maybe they can really lock in. I do notice that a lot of the sort of signature bosses for both teams are currently have not been drafted. I know that you know, VV likes to pick like a Ruin Serpent, they like to pick a Weenut, and BLG likes their Automaton Spirit Speaker Geo Bishop. So I think maybe we'll be seeing some of those in the second half. But I also worry, like, I mean, if you look at how VV had a death and how they drafted a completely healerless team this match, I don't know if BLG just survival checks them, can they even survive? I mean, Arlecchino and Nouvelette are both like relatively comfy units, and then the one unit who wasn't, they had a death on, as well as just not grabbing a healer, not enabling themselves to get a healer.
Yeah, I mean, only one death with no healers is still pretty impressive. But yeah, BLG, I think the strategy could be just pick some really weird bosses. You know, go with a chess game. Go with, you know, a Dendro hypostasis. Pick something really weird that makes draft just really difficult for VV and lets BLG just one boss. They win that one boss and they come out with the victory. That's all BLG needs to do here. So I think the smart play is go with some really weird bosses and just try to make draft as hard as possible for VV and guarantee at least one boss for BLG. Like we were talking about in the first half, that Suwani was kind of guaranteed for BLG. So if they can do something similar here for second half, they can come out here with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also thinking like, I think there's a lot of things that VV could have first picked other than that that Nouvelette. I think Shallonen also, given the fact that Molani and Nouvelette were both open, could have been a pretty good option. They even could have played that that team that BLG ended up taking, right? As well as Bennett. I mean, maybe they'll improve in this second draft. I do wonder what they're gonna ban. Are they gonna? I mean, after getting beaten by Mawika, even though they tried to ban out that Kazuha Mawika Silali team, and maybe they just ban Mav this time around. Another thing that's worth noting, I think, is that we've got, going into the second half of the draft, we've got 2 bond resets already taken, so there aren't like there are less bond resets left for people to choose from. So BLG as team 1 could end up getting like a pretty you know, a pretty good Arlecchino lineup. And then there's also almost all of the anti-Dendro, specifically bosses, a Pep and Mountain King, have been drafted, just leaving Chicken, which means that you also can't really hard prevent Dendro here. And I know that BLG does have very strong Dendro teams, especially with that Cloren, so I would be on the lookout for those 2 team comps if I was VV going into the second half of the draft.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this goes, but I honestly, I expect this game to end after one boss. I think it's about to be over. I really hope for VV that they pick it up, but I just don't know if it's possible. Have we ever seen someone come back from an actual like 6-0 here?
From a 6-0? I don't think we've seen 6-0.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
The problem with 6-0 is if
Again,
BLG drafts a super specific boss and all ends in that boss, it's over.
I think
it's not
what
a
you
very
have
easy
to...
thing to do.
Yeah, I think what you have to do is maybe you have to just completely brick them in draft, but the thing is that can be hard to do as team 2.
Yeah, I mean, again, team 2 does really have an advantage here, so VV does have an advantage going to the gameplay because they get to see what BLG does, right? They get the information. I mean, that's partly why BLG was able to come out of first half being up 6-0,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's enough of an advantage. And BLG is going to be very hard to break in the draft because they have so many options. It does look like prep time is up, and it does look like you're starting this draft pretty soon here.
Yeah, like I've been in the spot that VV is right now. JA, we also took a 6-0 on the first game
Yeah.
against BLG. I gotta say, trying to draft for 6 boss wins when the other team can just draft for 1 is very hard. It's
That
nigh
is quite
impossible.
difficult. All right, so we've got a Lava Dragon pick from BLG and a Knave pick
Okay,
from
so BLG
VV.
definitely knows they can play the Kinich very easily, and they can just get a fast win on Lava Dragon.
BLG picks Eroded Lord. This is an
And again,
aggressive boss lineup already. Yeah.
yeah, and like you were saying, we've got those dinner picks out already. So BLG has some good Kinich and Emily options. So they're gonna have both of those if they want to play some Bennett.
Absolutely.
And
Kenki
Okay,
and
yeah.
it does look like
So,
BLG is some weird
The
bosses.
Bennett first pick here is such high value. I wonder if VV is gonna see that and ban the Bennett, because I don't see BLG doing it themselves.
I think that BLG can just draft to win Lava Dragon here and take the win. And I think they know they can do that. And VV picks Copalia. Alright, pretty aggressive boss picks from VV, which is unnatural for them. But it looks like they're trying to just kill BLG. However, I don't think that they have a chance here if BLG just drafts for Lava Dragon and BLG gets rid of Moalani. Notably, we have Lava Dragon, which is quite good for Pyro teams, Knave, which is anti-Pyro, Eroded Lord, which is quite good for Natlan. Kenki's just a hard-hitting DPS check. Spirit Speaker has some cryo resistance with, a Pyro Shield Break, and Copalia also having cryo resistance.
Yeah, I mean, I think BLG did exactly what I was thinking. They went for some really weird picks.
They want a specific boss, yeah.
If you're looking at this boss lineup, if you are VV and you want to win all the bosses here, you're going to need Pyro, a lot of Pyro for Spirit Speaker. You're going to need Natlan characters for Eroded Dragon. You need healing for Knave. You need Pyro for Lava Dragon, right? You need all these things. You need to have every single one of these things if you're hoping to come out of here with 6 wins in a row, and that's going to be incredibly difficult to draft.
Yeah, it's quite difficult. I think that VV is in a really tough position here, having to try and fulfill every single one of these boss picks in order to get that win. So our bans right now are Moalani, Arlecchino, and Farina.
And they ban Kinich,
VV
so
bans
they
Kinich.
gave the Bennett first pick away. I don't know if that's
Kinich,
the best thing.
Kinich is not a terrible ban, right? You know, I don't know if VV has a good Kinich here, but it gives BLG a Bennett first pick. And Bennett first pick is just going to be too strong.
Yeah, I can kind of understand what VV is thinking. They want to ban the Kinich and try to get the Bennett for themselves because it's probably the only way they can actually 6-0 this boss lineup.
BLG just takes Bennett.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah, and you typically don't play Kinich without Bennett anyway, so I think that a Bennett ban would have taken out the Kinich anyways here. The problem is, I guess, that they just worried that they wouldn't have much to trade when it comes to Pyro if they get rid of Bennett, because all you have left is like the more Bennett-reliant units and also Moika. And VV takes Nahida. Now, Burning can work on Lava Dragon. Are they going to try and lock in a DPS comp, or are they going to just go for grabbing something for Lava Dragon, or maybe deny BLG? But
Nahida is not a terrible option here, right? It gives you the option to go for Nahida themes, and it lets you get at least something for Lava Dragon, right? You can go for that burning team. So she does give quite a bit here to VV. It's not a terrible pick, but yeah, with those bans, I think VV really likes to ban what they don't have, right? First half, wanting Kazuha that they don't really have. This half, they're banning Kinich. But I don't know if that's going to pay off. And yeah, it looks like they're going for that Vareza, so they're trying to get a Nahida comp here. But
they just go for Nahida Vareza.
Anything they want here for that ride comp.
Yeah, and they take Emily. I believe BLG has a C2 Emily who can do some shred, so this should have a lot of potential here. Although Moika does tend to perform better in, like,
yeah, they actually have 2 C2 Emilys.
Reaction teams. 2 C2 Emilys? Yeah.
Yeah,
Moika does tend to perform a little bit better in reaction teams or when she's enabling reactions, but I don't know if it matters here with Lava Dragon. I think they just win this boss. VV, I expect to maybe take a Dendro support, but maybe they need to lock lock in some Pyro before the band phase so that they can be competitive on Lava Dragon. And they take Linny. They decide to lock in the Pyro here.
I mean, Arle and Linny were both open, so I feel like the smarter pick was to get that Nahida comp. But I mean, I guess
Arlecchino was banned.
also,
Arlecchino was
Arlecchino was banned.
banned.
You're so right.
Yeah.
So maybe it was smart to get that Linny pick, and then I'm guessing BLG bans Alhaitham, forces VV onto Dig.
Yeah.
Maybe smartly taking away that Ganyu, not letting them
Ganyu.
get that Pride comp. And yeah, Alhaitham looks like they might be forced to take Tig here. If they don't take Tig, I think BLG just steals it, and
Yeah, I
VV
think they
is
have
kind
to
of
take
left with
Lunari.
no good DPS comp here.
I mean, there are still options. You can technically play Nugla or Yelan in this team with Nahida and like a Hyper Bloom comp, but they do take the Tignari.
True, but is it going to be able to beat against, Mavuika and Chaska with Bennett? I believe they have a C1 Chaska, maybe C2.
Yeah, or C3.
I know they have C0 with Rion. Oh, C3 on Sweaty's account, that's right. So that C3's Chaska is going to be quite strong with Bennett.
And they take Chlorend away from VV as well. I wonder if they're cooking something specifically with this.
They've got, I mean, yeah, like I was saying before, it looks like VV they have a good DPS comp. They've got some Natlin for Eroded Lord. They've got Pyro for some of the bosses, but they don't have healing for Knave right now. And I think that's the idea of taking that Chlorend.
That Chlorend, yeah. You also just can't flex her out for Veressa if Veressa gets low or on the more dangerous bosses. Like, yeah, Eroded Lord, even Kenki's, and
yeah, I think here for that Spirit Speaker, get some more Pyro. I guess you can run Nahida with the Amber on Knave. So again, it looks like they do have at least something for every one of these bosses. But are all of these going to be better than any Opnet? I mean, ooh, Chevy.
And they take Chevreuse.
Chevy, Linny, Veressa is not a bad comp for Lava Dragon. I mean, is it gonna beat double Pyro burning? I'm not sure.
I don't know that it does, but Mawika has a lot of front load and they have burning, but Veressa, Linny, Chevreuse should actually be pretty decent, and it is another good DPS checky comp as well. It's also definitely comfier than the Dendro team as well, so maybe they can swap those off based on DPS checks. All right, and BLG takes Sitlali here. I wonder what they're planning to do with that Sitlali, maybe for Spirit Speaker, but they already have that Bennett Mauve comp. Maybe they just run Bennett Mauve Sitlali, honestly. They could also run Chaska.
Sitlali Mauve Chaska is what I was thinking.
Sitlali Mauve Chaska? Yeah, that's true, that's true. Let's see.
They have options, and all they need to do is win one boss here. I mean, I think they do have, unfortunately for VV, I think BLG does have the stronger comp here for Lava Dragon.
Yes.
Having Bennett, Mav, and Emily, an arguably pretty decent team that has like an incredibly high amount of Pyro app. I don't think that, I don't know if VV is going to be able to beat that.
I don't think VV beats. I think they definitely drafted better on this second half than they did on the first half, but I don't really think they have much of a draft.
Besides the Kniech ban, which might have kind of screwed them over, they seem to have gotten a team for everything. Like I said, it's not easy to do, but it seems like they've got something for every single boss here. They have options, so they at least do have a good chance. There's no boss here that I'm looking at that I'm thinking VV doesn't have anything, right?
I mean, they do.
But they'd have to play really well, and BLG would have to mess up a bit here on boss.
I just think that their output, their potential to output damage on the specific bosses that were drafted, like, I think that, I mean, BLG has to really mess up in order to lose these, I feel, and they drafted a very specific team that works specifically on their own bosses, and they only need to win one of their own bosses. BLG only needs to win one of their own bosses. Whereas VV, while they have something to work on nearly everything, which is great, I don't know if they can outdo, BLG on those first couple of bosses, just because BLG went more specific with their picks, since they know they only have to win that one. But let's see, it looks like BLG is trying out Lava Dragon right now, and VV, it looks like, is maybe still being joined by the ref. So yeah, we have Lava Dragon. Ooh, one thing I do think is that, BLG really went in with just their own picks, because they don't really have a Knave comp. And if that...
Yeah, that's true. They could maybe go for like a Bennett, Chaska, Chlorend, they have something. They could run Emily, Bennett, Chaska, Ollie. Yeah, they don't really have anything for Knave here. So if VV can make it through Lava Dragon, they have a decent chance at winning Knave, but they'd have to survive. survive with only Nahida healing, though. Or,
Yeah.
not really the best
I think
option.
you just run Varessa on Prototype Amber there, honestly.
Okay,
Yeah, true.
seeing the damage that BLG is dealing on this Lava Dragon is insane. The
Yeah.
They killed
120,000
Lava
procs
Dragon
from
quite
Emily is
quickly, it
insane.
seems.
Yeah.
This is, again, a very strong comp this boss.
Yeah. I think that BLG just pulls off the Lava Dragon strat and they take it away. But if they mess up, then I think this match could be a bit extended here because after Lava Dragon is the main issue, I think. Like after Lava Dragon, you get into bosses where it's a little bit more even because you know, VV did get a really good DPS check team, but they have to win Lava Dragon, I think, to even have they have to win Lava Dragon to have a chance. And the issue is I don't see BLG messing this up, you know? But let's see. Looks like there's 1 minute left of prep, and
Yeah,
VV is
seems like-
struggling to join the ref swirl. Yeah.
Yeah, VV is not doing a lot with their prep time.
Yeah.
And they definitely need to get that Lava Dragon run perfectly if they want to survive.
Yeah, this might be a pretty big issue. I definitely think that Varessa, Linny, Chevy should be absolutely good there. I just don't think it outdoes the Burning Comp. The Burning Comp has so much application, and Moika's front load is really quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see.
from the character allocation, it looks like BLG has, I don't know if they've locked it in, but it looks like they've kind of given themselves again that Bennett Mav and then either Chaska or Emily. But it looks like for Nave, from what they have, their best option is probably going to be a Bennett Sitlali Chaska, maybe a Chaska Hyper Carry,
Yeah.
or just keep Mavuika and hope that the VV shred from Chaska is enough.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Okay, so they are trying multiple comps on Lava Dragon, so they really want to lock
That's
this boss down.
interesting. But this is a lot of damage.
Yeah,
But-
even before the down
aggregate.
phase.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited to see this Lava Dragon performance. This should be the C2 Emily, which doesn't have quite as much synergy with this comp, I believe, as it would with a Kaniche, which I think is probably what they were planning to do, but the Kaniche got banned. I definitely think one thing that I think VV has done a lot, which is maybe a mistake, is they're banning out units they don't have, but they're kind of only banning out units they don't have, and they're not limiting the pool any more than that, which means that they still end up giving the other team something really good as a first pick. Like I think there are some bans that, like, I think they could have banned Bennett here. I think they could have not banned Sitlali in the last match. Like there are some bans that are sometimes like a 2-in-1 where you make a character inviable by banning one of their supports, etc. And I think that I definitely think that with better bans, then both sides of the draft could have been in a better place here. But yeah, Emily's C2 is effectively giving herself deep wood, so as much as she doesn't have as much synergy as she would with Kaniche, she's still going to do quite a lot of damage here. And it looks like
Yeah, it looks like
They're
both
going
teams
into the
are
energy
getting
domain.
ready here. It seems the VV is pretty much ready. BLG just getting some last minute energy.
looks like VV is trying to decide what team to play on Lava Dragon, and I'm not sure if they're actually going to be playing that Chevreuse team, it looks like from the chat. Maybe they're going to go for a Burning Comp, but since it looks like they didn't really get to use any of their prep time to practice, I'm not sure if they'll make the correct call here.
Yeah, I mean, I am curious. Maybe they do run like a Nahida burn overload with a Varessa.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if more app on Lava Dragon than running just the Chevy. It'll be lower damage, but it might be more app, which might be what they need here. So, well, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, I mean, the thing is with that Bennett, Mav, Emily team is it has a lot of app and it has a lot of damage, and VV kind of has to decide between having a lot of app and having a lot of damage, and I'm not sure what they're going to pick. Ooh, that is unfortunate character allocation. It looks like
Yeah.
one of those accounts is well, I guess okay. It's gonna have to be a Hutao Chevy comp.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to be playing that Linny, unfortunately, with Varessa Chevy, which is a pretty big issue since that does limit their DPS comps for the Pyrotax, and it also limits them in having a more comfortable DPS comp compared to Nahida that still has relatively high output.
Yeah, so here they could either run that Nahida or that Chevy for Lava Dragon. It's definitely gonna be the Varessa on RDX and Hutao on Popsicle. But they kind of have to decide here whether they go for more damage with Chevy or more app with Nahida.
Yeah, I do wonder what they'll pick. It looks like we're checking out the allocation for BLG, the weapons, artifacts. The C1 Mav is back. This is the C2 Emily on White Tassel with the C0 Chaska, I believe. Yeah.
On Lin,
we
yes,
got-
there's their Chaska, but
Yeah.
it looked like that might just be the incorrect weapon. I'm not sure.
Mispillary Cloven. Yeah, I doubt they're running Sequence of Solitude. Yeah. Bennett on Peak Patrol here.
Peak Patrol Bennett with Deepwood.
Yeah.
Full court build. I mean, arguably, yeah, honestly, I'm guessing BLG has tested this, and I definitely believe that this is probably the strongest Bennett build you can go, which is just a bunch of ER and defense on a Deepwood Bennett build.
With Peak Patrol, full
Kind
support.
of a funny build. Yeah, kind of a funny build,
Here
but
they
I think
go.
probably their best option.
Let's see BLG.
Let's
I'm
see.
interested with the Emily damage. The Emily damage is so
incredibly
high.
quickly. Mao gets her ult in 12 seconds. Ooh, they're doing a lot of damage here in this phase.
Yeah, they're still
17,
clearing very
18,
fast with the burning.
25.
There 122,000 procs coming in from the Emily, and
Yeah, this is
230k
quite
procs meanwhile. So
fast.
300k
30 seconds.
Damage.
I mean, 30 seconds isn't an insane time. I think
Can VV beat it? I mean, I think there's a chance. Like,
I think they can beat it. Yeah. I'm
we'll
not sure about what that team comp they're running though. It's definitely a beatable time in general, but I'm not sure if it's beatable with what they'll
but it's
choose to
beatable
run.
with what they have. Yeah.
Varessa, Nahida, Hu Tao? I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so-
This looks like they might be going with an Ahita comp.
yeah, they look like they want to play Aggravate with Overload here. And they will... We'll have to see if it works. But I don't know if the damage will be there though.
Yeah, I am concerned about the damage, but it looks like maybe they're going just all in on application instead. However, I wonder why they're picking Varessa over Linny in this comp. Then the Aggravate, I guess, would perhaps be better. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, I think... Honestly, I think Varessa just deals more damage than Linny.
I'm just wondering if it's
unless
better to go
there's running
for...
more app,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
wondering
awesome.
just like if they don't have the damage, is it better to just go all in on one app? Because what they're with more app, because what they're doing is they're kind of running like a hybrid setup here, you know, with they've got damage and application. But let's see how it
It looks
performs.
like actually Luffy is the only account with Linny, so I think they actually don't
I
have Linny.
see. Oh, that's right. So they actually can't run it. Hu Tao is low. Hu Tao is very low. She'll have to be very careful. And this damage is not looking good, but she does get her heals off. However, Varessa takes some damage. Hu Tao and Varessa both go down. And now it's just Nahida.
Unfortunate. I do think that's GG's.
That is a loss
Yep,
for VV on
And
this boss.
Nahida goes down as well.
Nahida goes down as well.
GG's and congratulations to BLG, the Master Gamblers, for winning our third place match.
Yes, that was
Amazing.
very well played. Very well played.
Very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was another instance of BLG just absolutely steamrolling another team. It's kind of what they're known for. And I think they played well. I think that they absolutely deserve this win. And, but thank you to both teams. And I am so proud of VV for making it this far, all the way into third place match as an Asia team. I think, is this the first time an Asia team has ever made it this far? I'm not sure. I think it might be.
I think this is the first time a an Asia team has made it this far.
A non-NA team has made it this far.
It's incredibly impressive, yeah.
Yeah, that is a impressive 7-0 match in playoffs. That is crazy. This far into playoffs, absolutely 7-0ing a team here. And I mean, I think that BLG played better and they drafted better, and so they came out on top, and that's how it goes. I think we can get some of the team members in here for an interview. We've got Rion here from BLG.
Hello, Rion.
Hi,
Congratulations.
Rion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where's the rest of my team? I know Lynn and Swazi also wanted to come. Let me drag.
Yes. Hi, Lynn.
Hello.
Hello.
Y'all.
It is currently 2:43 a.m. for Swazi. We asked Lorelai to sub for us because we were worried that Swazi wouldn't be able to play because it's too late for him and he has rehearsal tomorrow or something like that, I believe. But he stayed up until 2:40 a.m. playing with us.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a great match. You guys played super well and you drafted really well. And I was really surprised by the performance of, I mean, you guys are kind of the Malwika team, aren't you now? You guys are kind of known for
We
Malwika after this
are
season.
the Malwika team.
You are
We were the
Malwika
Malwika team last season. We shilled her even harder this season.
We've been
Yeah,
chilling
yeah,
Malwika
yeah.
since
I mean-
2024.
Big M cinema.
Big,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I really liked, like, I saw that you guys were just going for that Lava Dragon win at the beginning of the second half, and I want to say that the performance of your Ganyu Shalonen team with Malwika really impressed me a lot on the DPS checks. It was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about the match? Did anything, like, go wrong? Did things all go as planned? How are you feeling when you finished the first half too and you were just up completely 6?
I think everything went as planned for us because like the entire draft we were just like, okay, if something bad happens we pick Mavuika and then it's okay. So yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Kowo is sad he wasn't able to
Yeah.
play on that Bennett. I'm sure he was.
Unfortunately.
I'm sure he was
Robbed
cheering
of
on from the
Bennett.
sideline.
Yeah, we ended up using his characters both drafts and he wasn't
Yes,
here
quite-
unfortunately. But
His
that's
signatures.
just what med school
Unfortunately,
does to a man.
Unfortunately, I do have to go pretty soon here. I've got some
That's alright, gentlemen.
more stuff later today. But congratulations to BLG, VV.
Yes,
thank you.
congratulations.
You guys played extremely well as well, RDX. Drafted
I
extremely
will
well. in the
not
second
say
half,
we played
and-
well.
and I think you guys actually did play very well. Playing no healer, only one death first half. Your second half draft
Yeah.
was extremely impressive.
That,
you guys
that
played
was
well.
pretty good gameplay for Arlay, Nikita, Muolani, because I know that team is extremely hard because you don't get a healer and you don't get any red shred and you feel sad if you get burned. So.
Yeah, I was definitely also
Congratulations.
surprised by the congrats. I was definitely also
I'm gonna head
surprised, VV, by the performance from that Moalani team on Drake as well and on some of those DPS checks. Because that's also it's a R0 Arlecchino, isn't it?
Yes, it is R0 Alekino. Things didn't exactly go to plan. We should have first picked Shalonen in every way, but we had a fumble, we just first picked other stuff, and it just spiraled down into a loss. There was not much we could do about it there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I definitely think that the Nuvolev first pick was far from optimal there, unfortunately.
The Mavuika Ganyu team also cleared like faster than I had originally expected, which was quite a surprise. We thought that the times would be a little bit closer, but unfortunately, when Mavuika gets to spam out, a lot of things happen differently.
Yeah, it's because everyone in casual goes, oh, that's like a 26 team. That's like a 26-second team. It's not a 26-second team. That was not a
Well-
26-second team. Nope.
We killed Drake before the second Malwika ult, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
Like
I
it
think
just
so.
died.
That
We
is
were
true.
actually surprised we managed to kill it before the second map because we thought we'd have to do ult it.
Yeah.
You guys got it off. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Anything you'd like to ask, Johnny?
Oh, not really. Just want to congratulate both teams on the performance. Congrats to BLG for getting third place in Season 5 of Ranked.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats to VV as well for the valiant display on that first game. I definitely did not expect them to die only once. It was still a very good from gameplay side. Of course, the draft did not match the gameplay. That's it. Congrats to both teams.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Also, unfortunately, playing on my mobile isn't the best answer, I imagine.
Oh yeah, because one of your teammates didn't show up, right? You were
Yeah.
originally not gonna play because your PC was broken, right?
Yes. My teammates were like either unable to play or didn't show up for the entirety of the first half. So I was stuck playing on mobile and we had to draft like very, very inefficiently because we couldn't put myself on any of the DPSs that I'm normally playing.
I
'Cause,
see.
again, I'm not playing on mobile. So our drafts were like kind of brick due to that since I had to be honest.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
unfortunate.
So this was a 10% VV power level.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely believe even with 100% power level on VV, we do not beat BLG. They are the better team. As much as I hate that fact, but we could have at least put in a bit more of a better show. That's true.
Yeah, I understand that it was was unforeseen circumstances for you guys with the member not coming up and showing up, and luckily you guys did get a sub. But yeah, you guys definitely like. I think that if the second half of the game had been the first half, basically, then it would have been a lot closer.
I don't know about that. I think our second half draft we really crafted to be the anti-sub draft. So like the Lava Dragon pick, the Spirit Seeker pick, we really wanted to rely on their sub not having experience against those bosses, so they just couldn't make a good front on that side of the draft. Like the Lava Dragon was like, okay, we got to pick something Popsicle just doesn't have experience against, and it panned out really well for us. So I think we really tried to cook.
I can see.
Shout out to our sub, by the way. Popsicle genuinely appreciated you showed up to help, and he played spectacular. I could not have imagined anyone else doing as good on Arlecchino there as Popsicle did.
Yeah,
so,
that was some great Arlecchino.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Okay, I mean, is there anything else anyone would like to say? We can wrap it up now.
we can pretty much wrap it up.
Yeah, Eliza.
Yeah. Hi.
Wait, sorry, RDX, what were you gonna say? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Just saying that this is like the first time Asia team has got to top 4 since
yes, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, congrats.
Season 1.
Yeah.
So,
Season 1. What's up, Rian?
I was gonna say, when should we be tuning in for the finals match, which is later today?
Yes, exactly. We should be tuning in to the finals match at, hold on, let me convert to Eastern time. I think it's 4:30 Eastern time, is that correct?
It is 4:30
Yeah.
Eastern
How
time.
many,
It is
how many
4:30
hours?
Eastern time.
In 3.5 hours, right?
3.5 hours.
Yep.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
8:30 p.m. for my EU bros, GMT +0.
Oh no. But yeah, stay tuned for our finals match. That will be TGT versus Pixel.
We're very excited.
And yeah, we've cooked something. My team has cooked something. Something.
Is it Spirit Speaker?
Yes, Rian, it is Spirit Speaker. You guessed it. You guessed it. Yes, you guessed it. Stay tuned for Spirit Speaker. Later today. Yeah. Alright, yeah, thank you so much to everyone for coming and for watching and for supporting us along the way. And congrats to both teams. Congrats to BLG, obviously. Alright, are you ready to say goodbye, Johnny? Anything else you'd like to add?
Just thank you to everyone who played, everyone who watched, everyone involved in prod, and see you guys later.
Shout out to Wafer for producing like literally every match.
Yes,
Shout out to our
Wafer.
producer, Wafer. We love you, Wafer.
Wafer is our goat, always will be.
Yeah, alright, then thank you so much, and we can sign off now. Bye bye.
Goodbye.